folks, so I'm going to try and walk up these 199 steps to the top to get to Whitby Abbey. So these are famous for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons they're famous is because Dracula came out of his coffin filled with earth and went on shore and ran up these 199 steps to St. Mary's cemetery near Whitby Abbey at the top. It does have a certain spookiness about it. It's just super huge. It is massive. Oh my, look at this. It has like, I don't know what to call it, but like a cinematic effect as you walk around it, right? Just the back, the way that the back part of the building and the front part of the building contrast with each other. You get it as right now, but during the First World War, a couple of German battle cruisers off the coast shelled. They were trying to hit a Coast Guard station, but they shelled it. They shelled the Abbey. Fish and chips. Hello, folks. We're headed to Whitby Abbey today. This is a famous abbey because it is mentioned in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So it's a little bit of a spooky abbey, I would say. We're gonna go head up there to the 192 steps where the abbey sits above the city, or the small town, the fishing town of Whitby. It's gonna take me 2.5 hours by bus to get there. So I'm headed to my bus right now, and hopefully it doesn't rain on us, but rain or not, I am going. Hello, we're headed to Whitby, correct? Good, awesome, thank you. Well, I'm on one of those double-decker buses, so I decided to come upstairs and see the countryside from Middleburg to Whitby. So it'll be pretty cool, I think. First time on one of these, but let's see. And the folks. When you're in England, do what the English do. We're approaching the North York Moors. It's a highland area, kind of a wildlife area, I guess. Very famous, but we'll be kind of passing through the north tip of the North York shore, or the North York Moors. So it'll be pretty cool to see. I think we're probably already there, so, but we are coming up in the highlands. Lots of green hills and sheep everywhere, but I think the moors themselves are kind of just kind of wildlife, no cultivation and fields of green or anything like that. They're well known for their heather, so this is not heather season. And I believe they're crisscrossed by waterways called dales, kind of like a creek in the US. Not quite a river, but a bit smaller. So we're climbing up and up. And as you can see, let me show you. Out there, those are the moors. Here they are here, close to us, just kind of a barren, I don't want to call it a wasteland, but it looks pretty barren. As you can look, I hear that when the heather is coming into season, it looks beautiful. But right now, it just looks totally barren. And there is a certain draw to see it, right? It's that ascetic lifestyle kind of thing where you want to go out into the wilderness, and this is like I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a desert almost. There's not much growing here. It reminds me of home, like New Mexico desert kind of thing. Except it's cold. It's cold here. It's a bit damp. overcast sky, kind of, you know, again a little bit spooky as we head over to Whitby. I like it. Well, that was my bus. It looks like it's getting ready to be crammed full of people. It's probably going to be my experience on my way back to Darlington this afternoon. I'm not looking forward to that. So I want to show you something really quick. Something else I was not expecting. One of these old wooden ships. Look at this. Wow. So I think I've found the path to go up to the Abbey. I have to cross over this river. Let me show you. There's this awesome river here with all those ships and yachts and all that moored. Right over here is our little bridge. It looks like there's snow here, but it's not. It's the I don't know what you call it, the stuff from the trees and whatever. But this, you can see over there, there's a lighthouse, right? This river goes out into the North Sea, I believe. And right across the North Sea, of course, is like I told you earlier, it's the Scandinavian peninsula. So we're gonna head that way, up let me just show you again. We're gonna head up that way, up to the top of that hill over there. But we have to kind of go in a zigzag, direction. We're headed up to the famous spot, right? I think it's called the 199 Steps. And there it is. Let me show you. That's it there. Oh, my poor knee. So these are the famous 199 steps. I don't know which is tougher, but we're gonna go up the 999 steps here. Let me stash my, let me stop. Folks, so I'm going to try and walk up these 199 steps to the top to get to Whitby Abbey. Let me show you. They begin here and they go up. So these are famous for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons they're famous is because Dracula, in the form of a dog, when he came ashore from some nearby wreck of the Demeter, the ship that he was on from Transylvania, when all of the crew of the Demeter, when they all disappeared except the captain who had lashed himself to the I forget what it's called, the steering wheel, the helm, that's what it's called. When he lashed himself to the helm to guide the Demeter to its final destination, it crashed, it wrecked up on the shore near here, and Dracula came out of his coffin filled with earth and went on shore and ran up these 199 steps to St. Mary's cemetery near Whitby Abbey at the top. And then Lucy, I believe her name mentions, it's not Lucy, what's her name? I can't remember her name, but one of the characters in Dracula, she mentions Whitby, the town of Whitby, in the book, in her diary. But it's a pretty cool and spooky place up at the top there. So, and it's got it's got a lot of history, not just the fictional history from Dracula, but this goes back to the 7th century. And then it also has some more recent history. Back in World War I, there was a little bit of action here. I'll tell you more about that once I catch my breath at the top of these 199 steps. I'm in reasonable shape for an old man. I wish I'd brought my cane, but it's gone. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. This must be the graveyard that Dracula came to. Count Dracula. Here it is. It is a bit spooky here. But the town kind of is on a, it's in a valley that comes down towards the river on each side, and on this side, right next to the river here is, to the river, to the sea, is the abbey itself. Here you got the graveyard again where Dracula ran up. I don't know if he went into one of these graves or whatnot, but it does have a real spookiness about it, especially being here by the sea. I think maybe either here, probably more over here somewhere, it's where the Demeter came ashore in the fictional story of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then he must have come up the coast here, over here, up to the steps and climbed 199 steps in the form of a dog, and then he came up here somewhere, and up there, right there, you can see it. You can see that is Whitby Abbey right there, and it does look very, I don't know, spooky now that I'm relating the story of Dracula to you. But let's head on over there. Well, the kid said it's Dracula's castle. It's not, but I guess you can call it what you want. And there it is. Oh man, it does. I understand the youngster back there said that's Dracula's castle. It's not. Dracula's castle is in Transylvania, but this is Whitby Abbey, and someone's been occupying. It's been a Christian monastery or site since 650 AD. This abbey here was probably built around 1250 or so, and the Benedictine Abbey is founded by one of William the Conqueror's soldiers who asked for a tract of land, and he was given this, and this is it. Oh boy, it looks like there's a gate there, so I imagine I'm going to have to pay to get in, which is fine. Although I'm keep losing money on this trip. Lost my cane, lost my sunscreen. It's all good. Then it was £15.90, which is about 20 bucks. Well, about 19 bucks. Let's take a look. More steps for me and my bum knee. And jeez. My gosh, these are much bigger than anything I've had to see. I'm not going to climb up this just right here. I'm going to walk over this way and we'll get a more impressive view of it. My host had recommended this. It was on my list of places to come, but I didn't even think about coming over here. You can just imagine that, in the darkness of I don't know, it's got to be October because that's when Halloween is. Some ship, crashing over there. Maybe that would be a better place for the Demeter Dracula ship, right, to crash, and then for him to jump off of it in the form of a dog and run up the steps all the way here before all of the museum and everything was here. It was back in the 1800s, of course, and then running up into the to the graveyard. But it does have a certain spookiness about it. It's just super huge. It is massive. And I was mentioning earlier the cathedral, the York Cathedral, the Yorkminster Cathedral. Yorkminster Cathedral is much, much bigger than this, believe it or not. You can see the folks walking around it. That this is how huge this is, and it's got its beauty, and and it's got its charm, character, and it has its I don't know, its mystique about it now. During the First World War, a couple of German battle cruisers off the coast shelled. They were trying to hit a Coast Guard station, but they shelled it. They shelled the Abbey. So that's the kind of the recent history of it, and apparently it was really damaged. Really damaged when that occurred. So it's there was a little bit of World War I history, not World War II, World War I. The Germans had a much bigger fleet back then. It was huge, and it was supposed to challenge the British Navy, which had a, of course, has always had a huge fleet since the end of they defeated the Spanish Armada. They kind of ruled the waves, as it were. But the Germans were trying to challenge it, and they came out in the Battle of Jutland. This is history that does not have anything to do with the Abbey, but they had it out with the Brits, and it was more or less a stalemate. But the Germans never came out again after that battle, and the war ended thereafter. So it's kind of they were kind of defeated. As long as if you fail to lose, you win. That's how it goes. But I know I'm digressing, and I want to show you. But this is this just dominates the countryside. It's just so mystical and majestic. I have to find some more other M words for it. And of course the kids love it. It's just a cool playground. Let's go inside finally. Oh, wow. I imagine Dracula probably will look like this guy there, like the dog. Oh my, look at this. Jeez. You can imagine the knob right here as the roof of the Abbey as it came across. And here you have the stonework. Jeez, Jesus. These are really cool. These are just cool. So cool. Again, it's a Benedictine. It was a Benedictine abbey. And the monks that were here, they were. It was closed down by Henry VIII again. Boy, Henry, he did a lot of damage to some of his wives, and to definitely the abbeys all across the country. And all that remain are these ruins. This is the fourth bit of ruins that I've visited so far, and that was my goal when I came here, was to see all of these old ruins, because they just had such an intense draw to me. And this place has a lot of history with again the Norse, the Norse, the Vikings, as we like to call them, the Northman, right? The abbey wasn't only an abbey for monks and for male monks or whatever. There was also an abbess for female, I don't know what you call them, abbesses. But the old Norse, what they called this, it was the old Norse language. They call it. It's spelled. Let me spell it out here for you. H-W-I-T-E-B, and it's Whitby. Almost, I pronounce it Whitby, right? Whitby, which means white settlement. That's pretty cool. And it was Renfried, a soldier of William the Conqueror, that became a monk, and he came out here and was given a grant of land, which is this land here. At that time, it was around the 1250s that they pulled down the old abbey that had been here since the 7th century. It's just here rotting away now through all this history. I mean, look, it must have been filled with stained glass. All of these windows, and the light coming in from behind, right? an area of quiet reflection. I can just imagine, you know, maybe in this hall, or maybe this must have been floor upon floor. I mean, you can see there's kind of like an area around there, right there. There must have been this, must have been a bottom floor, then a top floor. But in my mind, what I imagine is that, you know, sitting across here, maybe in these rows, probably were these monks kind of hunched over these parchment and paper, just kind of copying the old scriptures, and maybe some of the philosophers writing down their ideas and their thoughts, working out their beliefs about the world and reality and aesthetics and morality and all of those sorts of things. I was a philosophy major, and one of the things that I liked to study was the philosophy of law and morals. I was a lawyer in the States, so that went well with what I was doing, but I was fascinated by it. But that requires, you know, looking inward at who you are and understanding what is right and what is wrong, what is just, and those metaphysical notions and ideas. But you would, you know, if you had a kind of a quiet place like this, kind of just to concentrate on it, that would be ideal, right? But they made it so magnificent, so beautiful. You kind of wonder how they could concentrate on those inner thoughts, right? Kind of pull away from the beauty that they created for themselves. Anyhow, there's more to be seen here. Other than my ramblings about philosophy and the ethical theory, morality, law. So I don't know if you all can feel this the same way that I do, but as I stopped recording and just kind of walked around it, it has, like, I don't know what to call it, but like a cinematic effect as you walk around it, right? Just the back, the way that the back part of the building and the front part of the building contrast with each other. You get a sense of its grandeur and size, and it's got this, I don't know, hypnotic effect on you. I noticed it as I was coming from the opposite direction, but I don't think it's quite captured on a little tiny YouTube screen. Finished up the tour. Wow. It's pretty cool. I don't have to pay the price, which is it's not coming up the 199 steps. That's the worry. It's the going down. That's when you're putting all that downward pressure, all that energy flowing from you into the stone through your knee. 2.5 hours. I was gonna go see an aqueduct, which is kind of over there, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. I'd have to do some hiking, maybe some illegal hiking, and I'd rather go see the beach, which is right over there. That's drawing me. So here is, let me just show you, 199 steps down.
And eventually it can be filmed, so I think it has to be.
Wish me luck.
Has to be shut down.
We were fishing with Whitby highlight, shooting, trolling, all night.
Fish and chips. It cost me about $15, about £12 pounds 50. I'm just not going to be able to eat all of this. But a bit of ketchup, some lemon. So good. Listening to Roy Orbison, right? You're in Whitby after visiting the Whitby Abbey. So many tourists. This is so delicious. Huge would not have ordered it if I'd been feeling so bad. I'm not going to be able to eat it all. No mushy peas. These French fries are called chips. Here in England, the English and the French probably have a thing. That's why they don't call it French fries. They just call it chips. Fresh out of the grease. Delish. The ketchup cost me 80p. That's 80 pennies or pence, right? So good. I'm gonna eat this or half of it, and then head off to the beach. I saw it over there if it looks awesome, but crazy day here at Whitby because there's so many people. I didn't believe that there was going to be this big a tourist attraction, but apparently everybody knows about Dracula, so they're going up to see Whitby Abbey because that's where Dracula went. And I'm just going to finish off my fish and chips. Delish. Let me try a big chunk of this. Oh, so good. A little bit of ketchup. No dogs beyond this point. You know, sometimes I think that when I record, I'm boring as hell because the things I like to do aren't so crazy. I have a few things to say about that. I never really went far away from home, so being so far away is the furthest probably right now, whether here or in Istanbul, the furthest I've ever been from home, and thousands of miles over an entire ocean and a continent. Just crazy to think about, and it's scary. It's really scary. It's not so scary now that I've done it for almost 2.5 months. There's something pretty strong about it, but I'm getting a sense of what I'm able to do physically and monetarily, right? And what I'm bold enough to do. And especially here, somewhat in Montenegro, not so much in Portugal, because Portugal was strange. It was just like strange being away from home. But I'm getting more adventurous, just kind of letting fate take its chances with me, letting it decide what's going to happen to me. Taking chances and setting out and seeing what happens and what occurs. And sometimes it's dull and boring, I guess, but I'm loving it. I'm learning and I'm experiencing. I'm glad I'm doing this, even as an old man. Ida sent me a message giving me encouragement to see the world, right? I know I'm gonna have to mention who Ito is. He's a guy I met while I was traveling through airports in Europe, right? Frankfurt Airport. I'll leave a link if anybody wants to see it. It's about living life. It is about absolutely living life to its fullest. No matter what age you are. I'm 54, I'll be 55 in August. But man, you have to experience life. Especially if you're young and you can do all of those things that young people can do, and do those things that young people can do. Delay some gratification, but not all of it. And go see what you want to see, do what you want to do. Climb the Alps, go see Machu Picchu in Peru, go to Antarctica. Why the heck not? I'm thinking about doing that. I just have this kind of weird idea that I'll pay $6,000 to get on a cruise. Maybe I should do it from this angle here. It's probably better. I'm paying $6,000 to go to Machu Picchu, but not to Machu Picchu, to Antarctica. Right? You take the cruise down there. Maybe they fly you in, you land, You get out, it's real cold, you shiver, you take a selfie, you get on a plane or on the boat and get the hell out of there. $6 grand for that. I don't know, I have to check my money. It's still appealing, right? It's still someplace very few people have gone. Think about a lot of things like base camp or Everest. That sounds pretty cool. I'm sure as hell not going to go up there. Too many deaths. Too much death on that mountain. I was thinking about, and this is going to be kind of tough, I think, following Hadrian's Wall, which is that way. It's not too far from here. Following it, walking across England, kind of the short way, not from west to east, not from north to south, which should take, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks. That's something I thought about. Maybe I'll do that instead of going from John O'Gratz to Land's End. But those are things to think about. There are definitely things to think about. So, it's just so much history. Look at, I don't know if you can see me show you really quick. There's some surfers out there. I don't know what waves they're trying to catch. But if there is a wave, one of those young surfers out there is going to try and catch it, I imagine. Well, I'm just going to walk and enjoy this beach for now. It's something to be savored. And then I'm going to go get some. So what did the English do on the beach? They played cricket. Cricket on the beach. I absolutely don't know the rules of cricket. I just know it's kind of similar to baseball. So let's see. Well, I don't know how much of that you saw. The ball bounced. That's not it's definitely a ball pitch, not a strike in baseball. But, well, you know, English are the English. I keep thinking they remind me so much of Americans. What was it? There's that saying about the Japanese, that the Japanese are like everybody else except more so. And I thought about the British, and I kept thinking they're a lot like Americans except less so. And you know, there are some similarities the more I see them. They're definitely different. It's very, very different people. I really like them. They really, I don't know, have a quiet, calm way about going about their business and their you know, their enjoyments, their whole lives. When I go into the grocery store sometimes to buy stuff, I'll be there looking at some, you know, rack of items, trying to decide what to buy, and then I'll turn around and there'll be some Englishman or woman there waiting patiently for me to, you know, to get out of the way so they can buy whatever it is that they want. In Budva, I spent, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds trying to put some bell peppers into a plastic bag, and this lady just bumped me out of the way as though I was taking too darn long. And I was just like, Jesus. I have this theory about the folks in Budva and the folks in other places, and that is that in Budva, you know, unless you're a tourist, life can be pretty difficult. I imagine it's, you know, these aren't rich people. You can tell that. In Budva, they made their money through tourism, and I was there at the beginning of the tourist season, so it's not like there was a lot of money to be made. And I think that that kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it rudeness, but the kind of brusqueness about life is just indicative of the hardships that they have. And you know, that could be it. It's not easy being a clerk. It's not easy, you know, just wanting to get your groceries and go home and all of that. But my policy whenever anybody treated me that way was to be nice. It's always, always, always to be nice. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what their lives are like. And I'm a guest in their country, so that's my thing of it. But the English, I don't know if they have easier lives or whatever, but they're nice. Just really nice to me. But I have to get back. I'm gonna try some of that ice cream now. So I think this will be the end of the video. So I'll hop on that bus and go back to my whole humdrum, actually my wonderful Airbnb in Darlington. I'm working up another appetite, so got probably another 6,000 steps to go. See you in my next one.